During the course of this chapter, we will enhance our understanding of the concept of profit and loss. I am assuming that you understand what is meant by the terms cost price or buy price, selling price, profit, loss, revenue, and expenditure. If not, I would urge you to recollect these words and their physical and mathematical meanings. Once you have done that, we can proceed in this chapter. In this chapter, we shall learn about marked price and discounts and understand how they are related to cost price, selling price, profit, and loss. We shall understand the importance of percentages in expressing profit, loss, and discounts, and set a firm base for approaching aptitude questions from this topic. There is a concept in profit and loss called marked price. What is that? Marked price, MP, is something that is marked on an object. We go to a cloth shop and look at a sari. We see the price tag and we see a figure of rupees 2000 there. That figure is what we call the marked price because what is marked there is 2000 and therefore that is the marked price. Do we buy it at that price? No, we bargain. And suppose we get it at rupees 1000. What is the role we are taking in this context? We are the customers, not businessmen. The businessman is the shopkeeper. So what is 1000 for him? It is his selling price and therefore the selling price of the transaction, selling price of the business. 2000 is the marked price of the business. What is the discount that the shopkeeper gave? Or what is the discount that we received? The price marked was rupees 2000 and we got it for rupees 1000. So we got a reduction of rupees 1000 or a discount of rupees 1000. Note here that in the case of discounts, we may don the role of the customer. There is nothing wrong, even if you consider yourself as the shopkeeper though. What would we, the customer, say now? We would say that we got a discount of rupees 1000 on a sari of rupees 2000. Now what is the reference point here? It is rupees 2000 or marked price. So the reference point for all discounts is the marked price and the discount is obviously given by the shopkeeper. Have a look at the picture and think about the scenario. A trader buys some goods and marks them above CP. Then, when a customer comes and bargains, he sells it at a discount from the MP. Here, MP is greater than SP, which is greater than CP. Obviously, under this condition, the result is a profit. Is there any other possibility involving these three where the transaction remains profitable? That is one thing we need to think about. Is there a possibility that SP is greater than MP? Yes, it is possible if there are more buyers for a single product. In that case, the person who gives the maximum amount of money will get the good. The price that he gives may be more than the MP. So the particular condition of SP greater than MP may happen in an auction. Suppose if MP greater than CP greater than SP is the condition, what is the result to the trader? Find out whether it is a profit or a loss. Please note that buy price and cost price are the same, and it is the price at which the item was bought by the trader or the shopkeeper. Throughout this discussion, we shall be using the term cost price, and it has the same meaning as buy price. Look at the graph. In this case, CP is greater than SP. So this results in a loss to this trader. When can that happen? Think, and if you get the answer, you can be a good businessman. Now let us get to the language of the experts in business, the percentage language. If we are to express profit as a percentage, we need to have a basis of calculation. A basis is what we need to find out percentages. So the question here is, what is the basis of calculating profit percentage? Any business starts with expenditure for buying goods. You may call that by any name, but that expenditure is the basis of starting the business. Without that, there is no way any business would start. Starting a business is the reason for generating a profit. Therefore, the initial fund or expenditure is the reason for the profit and hence is the basis of calculation. Similarly, using the same logic, the reason for loss is also the initial expenditure, and therefore the basis of calculating loss percentage is also necessarily the buy price or the cost price CP or the expenditure. Discount is another matter altogether. Here, the only rupee value that is known to the consumer is the marked price. If we, as a customer, go to a shop and ask for the price of a TV, what they tell us is the marked price. We will not be able to know the shopkeeper's cost price. A discount is given to the customer. Therefore, it necessarily has to be on a value that the customer knows, and she knows only the marked price. Therefore, the basis of calculation for the discount percentage is the marked price, and it has got nothing to do with the mechanics of running a business. It is essentially a customer metric, and the basis will also be a value that is known to the customer. We as a customer always say we got a discount of 10%. What do we necessarily mean? 10% on the marked price. Is it not? Why do we use percentages? We could as well use absolute values, is it not? A business has a profit of rupees 100 and another business has a profit of rupees 200. Which business is better? The answer is not simple. Although prima facie, rupees 200 seems to be a good answer, think more. Does it not depend on what you have invested to get rupees 200 or rupees 100? Doesn't that need to be taken into consideration? Yes. Percentages make accommodating such considerations easier, and therefore percentages matter. It makes the decisions like which business to do easier, and it makes for easier comparison of quality of businesses. This being the case, the percentage way of calculation and comparison is the normal practice in business circles. As discussed earlier, profit expressed as a percentage is found out with the basis being the CP or the expenditure. So, if profit is found out as a percentage of CP, it would look like profit percent equals profit divided by CP, the whole into 100. If profit is found out as a percentage of expenditure, it would be profit percent equals profit divided by expenditure into 100. Cost of goods, cost price will be a part of expenditure for sure. But expenditure may contain other expenses like transportation expenses, loading, unloading charges, etc. Now, the numerator of these expressions is profit. What is profit? It is SP minus CP. Selling price minus cost price. Or it could be I minus E. Income minus expenditure. So profit percent equals SP minus CP, the whole divided by CP into 100, or SP divided by CP minus 1, the whole into 100, and profit percent equals I minus E, the whole by E into 100, or I divided by E minus 1, the whole into 100. The unit of profit will be currency like rupee, dollar, etc. There is no unit for percentage profit. The most common mistake that students do with these problems is to interchange between absolute profit and percentage profit. Here is where the unit of profit will come into play. If you see a unit, it has to be absolute profit. Similar to what we saw with profit, if we are to express loss as a percentage, there also we need to have a basis for calculation. What is the basis of calculating loss percentage? As discussed earlier, any business starts with expenditure for buying goods. Without that, there is no way any business would start. Starting a business is the reason for generating a loss. Therefore, the initial fund or expenditure is the reason for the loss and hence is the basis of calculation. Loss is therefore found out with the basis being the CP or the expenditure. So if loss is found out as a percentage of CP, it would look like loss percent equals loss divided by CP into 100. If loss is found out as a percentage of expenditure, it would be loss percent equals loss divided by expenditure multiplied by 100. Now the numerator is loss. And what is loss? Loss happened because the cost price was more than the selling price, or because the expenditure was more than the income. So loss equals CP minus SP, or expenditure minus income, as the case may be. So loss percent equals CP minus SP, the whole divided by CP into 100, or 1 minus SP divided by CP, the whole into 100. And loss percent equals E minus I whole divided by E into 100, or 1 minus I divided by E, the whole into 100. As we saw in the case of profit and profit percent, the unit of loss will be currency like rupees, dollars, etc. And there is no unit for percentage loss. The most common mistake that students do with these problems is to interchange between absolute loss and percentage loss. Looking at the unit used to express the loss will help you identify whether it is absolute or percentage loss. If you see a unit, it has to be absolute loss. Now we turn our attention to discounts. Let us see how we will describe a discount that we got. We will say we got a discount of rupees 3000 on an Apple iPad of rupees 36,000. If we buy a sari, we will say we got a discount of rupees 200 on a rupees 2000 sari. The shopkeeper will say that he gave a discount on a rupees 2000 sari. This tells us that whenever there is a talk on discounts, it will happen on the basis of the price marked on the object, that is, the marked price. The marked price is the one on the tag, and we will talk of discounts based on the tag price and not on any other figure. Therefore, the basis of calculations for discount percentage has to be marked price. Discount is therefore found out with the basis being the MP. So if discount is found out as a percentage of MP, it would look like discount percent equals discount divided by MP into 100. Now the numerator is discount. And what is discount? it is MP minus SP. So, discount percent equals MP minus SP, the whole divided by MP into 100, or 1 minus SP divided by MP, the whole into 100. The unit of discount will be currency like rupee, dollar, etc. And there is no unit for percentage discount. Let us look at an example to demonstrate all this. Refer the question Q1. A shopkeeper makes a loss of 10% when he sells a toy for rupees 108. What will be the marked price if he has to make a profit of 20% after giving a discount of 50%? If we summarize the given data, it will look like this. Present selling price equals rupees 108. Present loss equals 10%. The required profit 20%. Discount to be offered 50%. The question asks us to find out the marked price MP under certain conditions. The condition is that there should be 20% profit and the discount given to the customer should be 50%. In order to find the required marked price, we will have to find the cost price CP and the required selling price SP. We know that the shopkeeper makes a loss of 10% when he sells a toy for rupees 108. Loss percent equals CP minus SP, the whole divided by CP into 100. Plugging the value of the present SP, we get 10% equals CP minus 108 divided by CP into 100, or 0.1 equals CP minus 108 whole divided by CP. 0.1 CP equals CP minus 108, or 0.9 CP equals 108, or CP equals 120 rupees. Now we know the cost price of the toy. Next we move on to find out SP. We know from the given data that required profit is 20%, and from the first finding that CP equals rupees 120. Profit percent equals SP minus CP whole divided by CP into 100. 20 equals SP minus 120 whole divided by 120 into 100, or 0.2 equals SP minus 120 whole divided by 120. 24 equals SP minus 120, or SP equals 144 rupees. Therefore, the required selling price SP is rupees 144. So, in order to get a profit of 20%, the shopkeeper should sell the toy at rupees 144. SP can also be found out in another method without using the formula. We know that the required profit is 20% and we had already found out the cost price CP as rupees 120. As there should be a profit, selling price should be more than the cost price. SP equals CP plus profit. Remember, profit percent is always computed on the basis of cost price. So SP equals CP plus 20% of CP. That is 120 plus 20 by 100 into 120. Therefore, SP equals 144 rupees. Now we move on to finding out the marked price. That is the final requirement of this question. We have found out SP equals rupees 144. We know that discount percent is 50. We know discount percent equals discount divided by MP into 100. That is, discount percent equals MP minus SP whole divided by MP into 100. Substituting the values, we have 50 equals MP minus 144 whole divided by MP into 100, or 0.5 MP equals MP minus 144. 0.5 MP equals 144. Therefore, the marked price MP equals rupees 288. So we understand that the MP has to be rupees 288 to satisfy the requirements given in the question. Given here is a graphical representation to solve these kinds of problems easily. Please keep this picture in your mind. Half the problems will go away. This is the pictorial representation in case of a loss. Observe that in the case of a loss, selling price will be less than cost price. The discount is the difference between marked price and the selling price. Usually, in business transactions, the marked price is kept higher than the cost price. The difference between marked price and the cost price is called the markup. When markup is mentioned in percentage terms, usually cost price is taken as the base because the marking up is happening from the level of the cost price. The pictorial representation of a case where there is a profit is given in the slide. Understand the conceptual diagram? Observe that in the case of profit, selling price will be higher than cost price. The questions from profit and loss are pretty simple in nature, but we find that a lot of people make very silly mistakes in these questions and end up getting wrong answers. We have had a look at the most common mistakes that students make. The first and foremost among them is to get confused between profit and profit percent, loss and loss percent, discount and discount percent, etc. Please look at the units and never again will you be confused. Incorrect choice of the basis or reference. This is because of lack of reading skills. So please make sure that you hone your English skills and make sure that you understand the terminologies in use. Application of formulae without understanding the basics. This is the most common mistake. People mug up the formulae and try to apply them as such without understanding the situation. In most cases, the direct application may not be an option at all. So, understanding the basics is more important than remembering the formulae. Carelessness in reading the question leads to lack of understanding of what is to be found out and results in wrong calculations and answers. And finally, lack of empathy with the shop owner. If you consider yourself as the shop owner or don the role of the shopkeeper, chances are more that you will not make mistakes in profit and loss questions. Let us recap what we have done in this chapter. During the course of this discussion, we enhanced our understanding of profit and loss with the concepts of marked price and discounts and learned how profit, loss, cost price, selling price, marked price, and discounts are related. We learned how to express profit, loss, and discount in percentage terms. We discussed the summary of all learning in a couple of graphs. We discussed the most common mistakes that students do make when they attempt such questions. And finally, understand that there will be more than one method to reach the answer in any question. You will develop more logic if you solve the same question in more number of ways than when you solve many questions in the same way. So play around with the questions always. You will understand all the concepts thoroughly and will not make mistakes after that. Remember the example where we found out the value of selling price using two methods. CP and MP of that problem can also be found out in more than one method. Start from there. All the best.